Hi guys, welcome to another quick guidance video. In this video, I will explain how do you start preparing for a guesstimate. A guesstimate is essentially something in which you have to estimate a particular number. For example, say number of cars in Delhi, say something similar. So these are questions which generally come in interviews, specifically in jobs related to marketing, product management, consulting. These are really very helpful because these kind of tell the interviewer how well how well structured you are and how good is your problem solving skills. So let's just directly get into the approach that I have to tell you regarding guesstimates, and post which we will also do an example of a guesstimate. So that will help you understand the overall approach better. So let's just directly get into what is the basic approach, and then further we can move on to the example. So the guesstimate question which we are going to take as an example today is estimating the total number of ACs sold in India every year. Let's just look at the overall approach. So the basic approach is that the major points that you have to keep in mind is, first you will ask some clarifying questions. That essentially means you will make clear what is the exact problem statement, what is the objective, any assumptions that you want to take, you have to make those clear. Then the second is that whatever you have to estimate, for example, in this case, the number of ACs, try to find a way in which you can write that the number of ACs is equal to something into something plus something. So in a formula base, if you can write down the particular uh, estimated value, then that will become easier for you because you can then try to estimate every single part of that formula. Thirdly, whatever approach you are going to take, that you can explain initially itself. After the example, I will tell you the two major approaches that are there. So you can then see from which approach you want to solve a question. And you can just identify that particular approach, write down it in short and explain it to the interviewer as well. At every step, you have to be mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Now, what this exactly means, I will tell you when we are doing the example, but just keep this in mind always. Also, during when you're solving a guesstimate problem, there are a lot of assumptions you have to make in terms of numbers. So ensure that whatever number you are taking, in case you are not sure, you can just confirm it with your interviewer. Now it's his choice whether he will say yes or not to confirming the number, but you can always ask. And also in the end, just say that what number it is coming, is it sensible or not. For example, I mean, if the real number is around 100 and you are getting like 10,000, then that number is not accurate. So that is why just keep that in mind. At least when you are solving, you can do a fact check on all the numbers. So that will keep you somewhere, so that you are in the ballpark of the number. Even though it is not necessary that in guesstimate you get to the exact correct number, what is mostly judged is your overall approach. So let's just directly get to the example now. So our question was number of ACs sold in India per year. Now, what will I do? I will ask some clarifying questions because I know ACs are in residential, in households, and ACs are also in office complexes, etc. And also ACs are of multiple types. So I will just ask that, yes, do I have to take window AC and split AC, everything? And the interviewer says yes. Should I take AC units which work in centrally conditioned places like offices, malls, etc.? So the interviewer says you can just ignore those centrally air conditioned spaces. And another thing that I will ask is that about repeat purchases. Suppose I'm selling my AC in a second-hand market. So do I have to count that as well? So the answer is no, only first-hand sales, because from a company perspective, you will only see the first-hand sales. So this was step one of our problem. Now we are clear that we have to figure out the number of ACs sold to households or individuals in India every year. So I have taken this and written it down in a formula. So what it means is that the total number of current ACs that are present in India I will divide that by life of AC, which means that suppose there are 10 ACs in one house and every AC needs to be replaced in 10 years. So on an average, they'll be purchasing one AC per year. So that's why I will divide it by the life of AC plus whatever growth in terms of how much India is growing in terms of getting new ACs. So this is step 2. Try to devise a formula. Now for this, what I have to do, I have to take the total number of ACs, I have to identify that. I have to identify the life of an AC and also the growth factor in India. So the approach that I will use overall is that I will start from population of India. I will go down to urban and rural, take out households in both of them, divide them by income groups, and then figure out what are the number of ACs per income group to identify the total number of ACs. That is my approach. So this is in short my overall approach. This is also known as top-down approach because I am taking a very big number, that is my population, and then going down further the ladder. Another thing that I could have done was that suppose I would have just taken people, say from Delhi, and then I identify number of ACs over there, and then I say there are 10, 12 different cities similar to Delhi. So the overall urban ACs would be the Delhi number of ACs multiplied by 12. That is known as extrapolation, and that is the bottom up approach, that you take you identify or you guess estimate number for a small area or for a small region, and then you extrapolate it. But we are going from top down approach in this particular question. So like I said, I have taken population and then I have divided it into urban and rural. Now this division at this step is MECE, that I called in the first step, that is mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. That means that the entire population of India can be said to be urban or rural. That means all of the population is covered in urban and rural. Hence, it is collectively exhaustive. Also, if a person is counted in urban, then he cannot be counted in rural. That means it is mutually exclusive as well. So now that this is clear, let's move further. So as I said, again, in the population, so for different income groups, I have already taken percentages. These are sensitive numbers, but these are common numbers. So you can take some kind of assumption in this. Again, now in income groups also, for each group, I will see that how many ACs does this particular group need. For example, for upper urban class, I would say that 50% of people have 2 ACs and 50% would have say 3 or more, in which number I have taken just taken 4 on an average. So by doing this, I am identifying that how many ACs would be present for the people in every individual income group. So by doing that, next we'll just put in the numbers, wherein I've taken India's population as 125 crores, which is kind of a rounded number. So if you feel that you have the need to take 127 crore or say 131 crore, try not to take such numbers, take rounded numbers, take 130 crores, 125 crores and so on. And then further, so that it becomes easier for you to do the calculations. Because mostly if you are having a face-to-face interview, it would be a bit difficult for to do some rough work. You have to do mostly mental calculations. So just try to take a simpler number. Then I will just move on to say urban is 30% and rural is 70%. Now, how do I take out quickly 30% of 125 crores? What I can do is that 30% of 100 crores is 30 and 30% of 25 crores is approximately 8 crores. So that is why I just try to take small rounded numbers, and you can round up every number at every step. So by doing that, I get population for both urban and rural. Then I assume that one household in urban India has 4 people. So the total number of households is 8 crore. One household in rural India has 5 people. So the total number of households is 14 crore. Then further going down to the number of ACs per income group. So for upper class, we had already discussed. And similarly for all the other classes, I have written the distribution. I will now take out the average. So for upper class, 50% have 2, 50% have 4. So the average is 3. Everyone has 3 ACs. Similarly, for upper middle, it is 1.5. For middle class, it's 0.3. And for lower class, it's 0. In rural, there's something special that I have done because in rural, ACs are not really widespread. So in rural India, I've assumed that the people who are relevant are the upper class people who are interested in purchasing ACs, and that I have taken as 5%. So for 5% of people, and they will have at max one AC. So these are the numbers. These are all a bit sensitive numbers. So you have to be a bit wary of them. If you feel that you have no idea, suppose it was not AC, it was something else, and you have no idea, you can just confirm that number with the interviewer as well. Now, just doing quick calculations, that is from the total number of people who are there in urban India, total number of households. I'll just multiply that with, for each income group, the percentage of people in that income group and the average number of ACs. So 8 crore into 10% into 3, 20% into 1.5 plus 40% into 0.3, etc. That gives me a total of 5.8 crore ACs total in India currently. I hope that this is clear till now. So now you have come down to one number in our formula that we had. So the total number of current ACs is 5.8 crore. Now the life of AC is assumed to be approximately 10 years. It can be more or less, but let's assume a round number and approximately close. So replacements per year is 50 lakhs AC per year. Again, taking some growth. So taking growth as 10%, this is also kind of standard because it has to be somewhat more than the GDP. And we can assume that electronics in general are selling more. Also, the summers are extreme. So we take the percentage a bit high. So that will give us a total of approximately 65 lakh ACs. Now, I hope the entire approach was clear. So the idea is that first, try to ask some clarifying questions. Secondly, try to devise the whole thing in a formula and then try to estimate every single part of that particular formula. Thirdly, identify the approach that you want to follow. Just discuss it with your interviewer. And then be mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive, and ensure that you just confirm any sensitive numbers with your interviewer and keep a sanity check in the end. These are the major things you have to keep in mind. Ensure that you are not just sitting silent and writing down. Just see that whatever you are writing, whatever you are thinking, just like I did right now, whatever you are thinking, try to speak it out. Because otherwise the interviewer will get bored, he'll not understand your thought process, and that is not right. And as and when you keep on asking questions, the interviewer is also engaged in the interview. So try to do that as well. And I think I'll have one question for all of you, which maybe everyone can try and put in comments below the answers that you get, and maybe we can discuss this in the next live video as well. Also, in case you want me to make any other videos on guesstimates, just let me know in comments below. So the question for you all is number of weddings in India every year. So good luck for that, and do try it. Do put it in comments. And guys, any other topic you want me to make any quick guidance video on, just let me know in comments below. It would be lovely if you will be able to share this with your friends and family or anyone who is in need for these type of guidance videos. And I will sure be able to help all of you. I hope that this helped you. Just let me know if there's anything I should improve. And that's it from my side. Good luck. See you soon.